It's Tuesday, August 10th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the Prime Minister delivers his national address. We hear a first-hand account on the importance of vaccinations. Another murder on the streets of the capital, and futuristic techniques are making the agriculture industry more fruitful. The morning edition starts now.
If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. Good morning and welcome to the morning edition. I'm Jiminita Swain.
And Jimmy, sometimes I act crazy, so I don't want people around me, but I'm going to be normal today.
Really?
Today it started off pretty good. I'm happy. We're in for a great show. We have some exciting stories for you viewers to watch this morning. The verdict is in. We heard the speech last night.
I heard you had your Pepto-Bismol on standby.
No, I was right there chilling, sitting outside, my
no
foot
worries,
up in
you
the
weren't
air.
worried.
No, man, I stopped worrying. Worries are for people like you and Gator, those. You know, I don't worry about nothing. Just looking forward to life.
I hear you.
Looking forward to life. Well, let's get to the trivia question this morning from Janae's Uniform Center, and you can win this gift certificate. How many grams of gold are in Olympic gold medals? You know, Shawnee Miller, Uibo, and Stephen Gardner will bring home their gold medals this coming Thursday. How many grams of gold are in those Olympic gold medals? And you can win yourself this gift certificate, all courtesy of Janae's Uniform Center. And Jimmy, give me an answer. 387-502-3870.
Let's
the number to call.
9. Let's go with 9.
9?
9 grams.
14 carat? I say 14 carat.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see who calls and who gets it right.
502-3870, that's the number to call. But now let's take it out to the streets where our golden boy, Desmond Sanders, is standing by.
I like that, Fisher. I like that introduction. Good morning to you, Jiminita and Charles Fisher. As you said, golden boy, well, it's golden out here. A wonderful scene out here on Gladstone Road. Just yesterday, traffic police mounted an operation on John F. Kennedy Drive. Some 94 motorists were ticketed for various traffic violations. We're here this morning on Gladstone Road. The traffic police are mounting another operation. And as you can see, traffic police out here in full force have been out here since after 6 this morning. And Corporal Christopher Wims joining me on the broadcast this morning. Explain the operation here this morning.
Well, good morning, Desmond, and good morning, Bahamas. Once again, keeping in line with our commissioner's policy, public safety. Yesterday's operation targeted speeders. Today's operation targeting those vehicles with no insurance. Too many times we do our job as police, and after we give them their report, people are left saying, who's supposed to fix my car? Because there are so many vehicles on the road without no insurance. So now, this is what we're going to do. We're now proactive. We have another pandemic as police. Plenty of vehicles are driving on the road with no insurance, no driver's license. Today is a no-no. So if you think you're going to drive past us today with no insurance, with no driver's license, God be with you. You and the tow truck will drive along together, because we ain't got time to play no more. Every day we're going to challenge ourselves to do something different, so we can bring it, piece it all together and bring it to a whole, and it's going to show an end result where we have, if we do have accidents, people's vehicles will be fixed because the insurance. Spend your $250, spend your $300 to get your car insured, and if you're one of those persons who like to lend your car out, spend that extra $50 to open up the insurance. It is that simple. Why should somebody have to suffer because you don't have no insurance? No more suffering for those people who do the right thing. But those of you who do not do the right thing, you're going to see us. And we're going to say good morning.
That's right. And another issue, very quickly, a major issue is that of speed. And you've ticketed a number of persons yesterday on John F. Kennedy Drive for speeding.
Yes. The total amount of speeders actually were 50. But we had like another 44 for different various offenses. But the main target was speed. speed kills. And you'll be surprised how many people be daydreaming while they're driving. And just, some of those vehicles are so comfortable, it makes you think that you're in a jet. But hey, we're in the Bahamas. On the highways, speed limit maximum is 45 miles an hour. Anything over that can cause death.
What's the fine? What's the fine for speeding violation?
$100. I think it should go up, but it's $100. But it's just, hey, I will not let you go. I have to reprimand you for your mistake. It's a difference.
There you go, Corporal Christopher Wims joining me here on Gladstone Road. As I articulated earlier, traffic police out here in full force enforcing the rules of the road. So be careful, be safe. Back to you, Jimenita and Charles in the studio.
Thanks a lot. That's looking pretty good on the outside. 82 degrees, partly sunny, winds east at 6 miles per hour. Humidity 78%. We are watching a potential tropical cyclone 6. This disturbance is nearing the Leeward Islands, forecast to become a tropical storm tonight and could begin to affect the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands by Thursday morning. High pressure continues to dominate the weather over the Bahama Islands, supporting gentle to fresh winds across the country, partly the most sunny and hot, with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, humid in the northwest islands and breezy in the central and southeast Bahamas. Your daytime high temperature today, 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Your overnight low, 77. As we look ahead to Wednesday, breezy in the morning, 90 in the day, 80 at night. And then from the effects from that tropical storm on Thursday, winds subsiding. Afternoon showers, 90 in the day, 79 at night. And then Friday, rain and tropical storm, so time to bring out those umbrellas.
Proceedings of the House of Assembly resume at 10 o'clock this morning in order for government to seek parliamentary approval to extend the emergency powers COVID-19 orders, which stipulate the official guidelines and protocols for the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister confirmed in his national address last night that today's resolution will be the final extension to the emergency powers COVID-19 orders that he says will expire at the latest November 13th. The rise in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths also prompting the Prime Minister to announce new curfew hours for the islands with the highest numbers. On mainland Exuma and Abaco, curfew hours will now be from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. On New Providence, Paradise Island, and Grand Bahama, the curfew hours will be from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The curfew on North and South Eleuthera, including Harbour Island, will continue to be from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The new curfew hours come into effect tomorrow, August 11th. In a further effort to curb the COVID-19 virus. The Prime Minister also had this bit of good news when it comes to getting the green light to acquire a substantial amount of new vaccines.
Along with these new doses and the vaccine supply we already received, over the next few months, we will have the capacity to vaccinate all Bahamians and residents who wish to receive the vaccine. But let me be clear, COVID-19 will not just disappear. What our vaccine supply will do is allow us to give a significant percentage of our population protection. This will in time lessen the likelihood that we will have large-scale surge that cause extremely high hospitalizations.
169 new cases of COVID being reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release, 134 in New Providence, 13 in Grand Bahama, 11 in Abaco, 7 in Exuma, and 4 in Eleuthera. The total COVID-19 case count nationwide now stands at 15,794. 3 more deaths have also been reported, all who died on Saturday, August 7th. That includes a 40-year-old woman from New Providence, a 43-year-old woman from Abaco, and a 59-year-old man from Eleuthera for a total of 307 COVID-related deaths. Hospitalizations are up to 129, with 15 in the intensive care unit. Hundreds of residents gathered at the Church of God of Prophecy East Street Tabernacle Monday morning, hoping to get one of 600 COVID-19 vaccine doses expected to be administered at the newly reopened vaccination center. Member of Parliament for St. Anne's and Rotary Club volunteer Brent Simonet says there has been a renewed interest in getting vaccinated since local supplies began running low several weeks ago. The reopened site is catering to people who have booked appointments in addition to walk-ins, but the walk-ins are more time-consuming.
Interest is very peaked, very high, especially with first-time vaccinations. Yeah. So the campaign seems to be working to get people to vaccinate and get them. And it's very critical to be vaccinated. The problem with walk-ins is their data is not on the computer. So it takes a little long to register because we have to get your name, date of birth, emergency contact numbers. The appointments that are opened up on vax.gov.bs for the week have been filled. So we're waiting on the authorities to open up more appointments so we can get more people in. A facility can only take so many, like at Loyola Hall, 700 we were pushing, but we did some 700 days. So we try and balance all of that.
Leave for all members of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force has been canceled, effective immediately, except for those on secondment, sick leave, or quarantine, special leave, approved international study leave, or pre-retirement leave. Personnel attached to the Coral Harbor Base and Defense Headquarters are to report for duty at 8:40 this morning. Marines attached to the Defense Forces Harbor Patrol Unit, Port Security, Air Wing Unit, and the Military Police and Force Protection Units are to report to their respective places of duty or approved muster points. And another murder taking place on the streets of the capital. The latest victim was killed on Marshall Road Monday night. According to police, they received a call after 7 about 2 victims being shot. When they responded, one was deceased and the other was taken to hospital where his condition is unknown at this time. Police say that information they received is that a dark-colored Jeep pulled through the corner and 2 males exited, one with a handgun, the other with a rifle, and they opened fire. Anyone with information on this latest homicide is asked to contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2 Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, or, of course, your nearest police station.
When we come back, a first-hand account of the importance of vaccinations. You're watching the Morning Edition. Stick with us. Many Bahamians continue to be apprehensive about taking the COVID-19 vaccine, but after you hear this next story by our intern Dudley Turnquest, you may just want to go out and get that jab.
I think it's your moral duty to get vaccinated. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it's your moral duty. Use me as an example. I was the only person in my house vaccinated, and when that COVID angel of death came to my home and sat on top of it for those 3 weeks, me, the vaccinated one, was the only one with the capacity to do anything for the people that I love, to stop playing around with this vaccine.
New cases of COVID-19 continue to escalate as health officials urge the public to follow protocols and get vaccinated. But with members of the public still hesitant on getting the jab, the number of casualties continue to rise. COVID survivor Travis Bartlett recounts his experience with the deadly virus.
July 16th. I just so happened to, I was getting the second dose of the vaccine that day. My brother was displaying symptoms at the time, so I took him to get tested. So it just so happens that I was infected, likely by him, on that same day.
Bartlett, a medical student who says he made a decision to get the jab despite the skepticism of some, says none of his symptoms were as bad as those experienced by his brother and mother.
Their course progressed to where he started coughing up blood. Obviously horrifying. He started coughing up blood consistently over the next week or 2 weeks, and my mom, she just grew more tired, and the body aches and coughing. But whereas with my brother, his most alarming symptom was the coughing of the blood. With my mom, her most alarming symptom was her oxygen started to decrease, and that was very scary. And while we were taking care of her, my dad fell ill, started with body aches, and he was mild for a whole week. At the beginning of the second week of his course, he rapidly deteriorated and developed a bilateral pneumonia.
When asked his feelings on others getting the vaccine, Bartlett had this to say.
How much do you care about being right and proving a point versus the safety of your loved ones? If all the statistics are showing that these vaccines are effective and can prevent hospitalizations and death, I just urge you to reconsider how much you care about trying to win an argument about a topic that, honestly, you clearly don't understand.
Well, the pandemic saw many starting businesses as mask makers, among other things, but more than a year later, are they still at it? We asked the question of Romilda Rose designer Jillian Curry-Williams, who says she's continuing that and other things.
It's still going on. People are still getting masks. They want them for church, they want them for weddings and funerals, and they want them dressed up now. So that is still continuing.
Romilda Rose designer Jillian Curry-Williams provides a unique touch to her mask. She says aside from the mask making, she has tried her hand at so many other things. The latest thing being,
I've written a book, a sewing book that I've been literally working on for about 30 plus years. Every time I had a sewing class, I tried to find ways to make the book simple, and I think I've gotten it where I can't take it anymore. So I got the editing done and got the diagrams done, and now the book is born. It's here.
Curry-Williams insists that the book is easy to use. The cover is one the designer hopes is eye-catching. In fact, she says the book teaches people how to draft a pattern.
It's for anyone that knows how to sew but doesn't know how to make their own pattern. I often tell people in the industry, because people think in the industry as a designer that you just draw out on fabric and cut. No, a designer doesn't work that way. A designer makes a pattern, and then we make the basic top and skirt sloper, and then we work whatever else. You can get a jacket out of that, blouse, whatever, from that pattern. So this book,
with author now attached to her name, Curry-Williams speaks to other projects she's working on, which include securing approval for her fashion show in the new year.
Working on this print to hopefully introduce it as something for independence. We're trying to get the color straight with it, but I'm working on that. And I don't know what else God is going to help me to do, but I'm available. And we'd be able to have a show in January. Now, we would want that show now to, yes, honor persons who've had cancer, but we'll also like to honor the caregiver as well, because the caregiver is so important in the role of a person that's sick.
As for those still figuring out their passion, Curry-Williams offers this advice.
Like, what is in your hand? There's something that you're passionate about, or there may be something that you don't like to do that is the same thing or that thing that God has for you to do. So you just have to seek God and know what it is that you should do. I seek Him, and I found that in sitting and thinking one day, everything that I'm doing, it still all comes back around in a circle.
Agriculture has evolved from a slash and burn system to one guided by technology. Well, agriculture specialist is urging all involved to plan themselves in futuristic techniques to make a more fruitful industry. Here's Keisha Adley.
And we know in this, and we clean this up here.
Dr. Leroy Santiago isn't afraid to get down and dirty. The basic elements of farming, sun, soil, and water haven't changed, but the techniques of a modern farming industry, Santiago notes, have.
We don't plant by the moon, we plant by, by science. So, and we're not disrespecting our old people. We don't plant banana in a pit, we plant banana in a surface. And we do 700 plants per acre.
Take, for example, this plant, tiny but potent. The Cortularia junicea, or sun hemp, is a gem of the field.
It deposits 180 pounds of nitrogen in the soil in an acre, which is almost 200-pound bags of fertilizer in 35 days. This plant is just about 3 or 4 or 5 days, but within 9 to 10 days, it'll have some nudulars here, and they start depositing nitrogen from about 9 to 10 days.
And in 35 days, they'll be as tall as you, and then we're going to plow that back into the soil. It deposits nitrogen for us to cut back our fertilizer costs. 2, if you're in organic farming, this is the plant you want. And we have seeds to help farmers. We can give them out. We can help. We can donate some to the farmers. 2, it kills a root parasite called nematodes. So normally in the Caribbean, we spend about $300 million within all the 15 CARICOM countries to kill nematodes in the roots. But now with this plant, it does that naturally.
The plant also attracts bees and, by extension, pollination. It's initiatives like these Santiago is campaigning on to make mainstream, along with local food production.
The Department of Agriculture, along with many of the farmers, can really help to lift the standards of farming. And I think that we need more extension officers in the country. We need young people coming out of agriculture colleges. So if BAMSI is to produce these kids, they got to produce them and produce them rapidly fast, because at the Ministry of Agriculture, people are within the 60s and the 50 years old. We don't have in the 20s, we don't have that. So this is a deficit. So farmers like Mr. Burrows and those, they have to really step it up. And of course, they need the science to help them back. And they've really embraced science.
Planting that proverbial seed among local farmers is key, Santiago says, along with the will of agricultural officials.
For example, bananas. Let's say we're importing pineapple and banana. We're only close to $18 to $19 million in planting a banana per year. But it will take about less than 200 of us, about 100 of us to do that. But we have to have it in a scientific way with irrigation, 700 plants per acre, fertilizer, and then we can do it. But we can start. I see that this is now the opportunity to start. If we don't start, we're dependent. If we have, remember 9/11, we had a problem here? Right, so we don't want something like that happen.
So, not too many moons from now, Dr. Santiago is hoping to transform a small-scale subsistence mindset into a science-driven, more fruitful, less import-dependent country.
As we head to the break, we take a look back in Bahamian history. On August 10th, 1810, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church was established. Also on August 10th, 1920, a government order was issued to save flamingos from extinction.
Well, it was a major story developing for the Bahamian team at the Tokyo Olympics. Rupert Gardner's credentials was taken from him and he was sent back home. Well, Coach Gardner is back home and breaking his silence on what really transpired.
Me and Dr. Ricky Davis, we had a heated argument concerning the B3As and the BOC, the situation with the girls 200 meters. But he stated that the B3A is always blaming the BOC for certain things. And I told him straight and plain, the B3As don't blame the BOC for certain things. And I told him that the matter we shouldn't come down to Tokyo to deal with this. This should be settled at home.
Gardner indicated that during the discussion, things got heated.
And I told him he came down here to do his medical job, not to get in the affairs of the B3 or the BOC. So he picked up the phone and he called the president of the Olympic Association. I don't know what he tell him in terms of what happened, you know. And as far as I'm concerned, that's nothing to go running and say, hey, he say this and I say that, and that's not professional.
From then, he was summoned to a meeting.
General Secretary from the BOC, Teron Donaldson, he called a meeting with the management staff, and he gave me the outline why they are going to send me home because of the letter with Jamaica wrote, and I never saw the letter, and also that I favor Anthony in the runoff, that I let Anthony jump the gun in the runoff, and I was favoring her, and I was causing disharmony with the team. Also with the argument with me and Dr. Davis. Those are three things they accused me of. And matter of fact, me and the head coach, because when we had a meeting, I state my position that I don't want to be a part of this whole process because of the relationship with me and Anthony. You know, I coach Anthony in high school. You know, I grew up and she's just like a daughter of me, so I can put myself in that position with Anthony.
So he's back home now and weighing his options.
No, it's not the end of it, because you can sentence a guy without a trial. You know, and I didn't get a trial. I didn't get a fair trial. At least you could sit down and say, listen, this is X, Y, Z. You know, hear my side of the story before you make a harsh decision like that, and cause some of the embarrassment to me and my family and my friends.
Well, swimming with the pigs has become a great tourist and Bahamian attraction recently. Normally, to enjoy this outing, one may have to visit a family island. But let me tell you about this place right here in Nassau that does it. Its scenery and atmosphere is one of a family island. But one will only have to travel to the most western end of the island, to Adelaide, to Pig Beach, to swim with the pigs. Open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
This side of Adelaide was normally where the slaves came in, and so it's been here for a very long time. We've been up and running now for like about 2 years, but officially like say a year because of due to the pandemic and all of that stuff. So we cater to locals and we also cater to international guests. We have taxis that come in, we have boaters, we have drive-in, walk-in, all of that sort of stuff.
The Pig Beach is an ideal getaway. It's just a drive away for Nassau residents, according to manager Larissa Taylor.
Guests talk about the experience where they have to take a boat and to go to the family island, and we have this right here. They also told us that, you know, the boat ride is kind of, you know, it's kind of rough. So they prefer to come here and to swim with the pigs here.
And it's a full day of activities for visitors.
We have a pig encounter. We open from 10 and it starts at 11 every morning. We have guests come and they interact with the pigs. We have an inclusive lunch, the amenities of the property, the paddleboard, the kayaks, the beach chairs, the umbrellas, all that kind of stuff. We have like Bahamian music. We have a conch guy on property. And basically, it's a Bahamian thing.
While there, these pigs were showing off for the camera. Angela McKenzie says, come on down and experience the real deal.
The pig show consists of the guides, they will take the guests, they'll give them all the safety rules and guides first, and then they'll take them to the water and they'll show them how to feed the pigs, and then we get the pigs in the water. So the pigs normally basically swims with the guests, and we also do a pig race where, you know, we put the guests out so far with the piglets and they let the piglets swim out.
Schools, you have not been left out of the adventure.
They can do a field trip and come and find out about Adelaide, the slaves, and the way the Adelaide villagers live.
So how has business been in this COVID environment?
Business has been, I would say, great. Coming back from the pandemic, it started off slow, but then after a while, it just grew, and now we're at a good mark. Yeah.
So we have online guests that pays $120. We have local. We're running a special now for local guests, which is $80 per person, which includes lunch and 2 complimentary drinks. And after that, you can purchase food if you want to be catered to. We carry our local Bahamian crack conch and also conch fritters.
Well, Jimmy, I was going to ask you if you ever swam with the pigs, but I remember when you were down there in Exuma, you swam with the pigs.
But now I see that I don't have to go far.
You can swim with the pigs right here in New Providence. I think I'm going to take up that option.
That's
I didn't have on my Speedos yesterday, so I didn't have a chance.
Thank God we didn't need to see that. We know this is not a summer body, but anyway, who won?
Let's get to this trivia answer. How many grams are in a gold medal? Somebody said 24 carat. Couldn't stop laughing in here. You said 10K, I said 14K. But the answer is actually 6 grams of gold in those gold medals that Shawnee Miller and Stephen Gardner will be bringing home to the 242 on Thursday. And details on that victory celebration should be released later on today.
So we have a winner, and congratulations
and the winner
to that
is
winner.
Ciandra Stubbs. Sorry, I'm so caught up. Ciandra Stubbs.
Congratulations. We sleeping here?
No, I was just trying to picture myself on that beach in my Speedos.
You can't even finish. Tune into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition and the Bahamas tonight. Well, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Jimmy and I going beaching right now.